Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. Today is going to be a channeled reading. I want to take a look at kind of the weekend that was, right? So this is the weekend prior to the great debate that we're still not quite sure is going to happen, but I want to take a look at kind of what both sides are doing and how they're dealing with this. Because apparently, even Fox News has sort of started sending out these kind of like SOS messages about maybe it's not the smartest thing for Trump to do. And, they're one of them was they're sort of, camouflaging them, right? And they're saying, Trump kind of set the bar really low with Biden because he's on and on about his age and his cognitive abilities, and he's, bumbling, stumbling fool. That because of that, Trump has set the bar so low that if Biden even kind of manages to pull this off, it's going to make Trump look bad. So they're already sending out messages saying, you've got to be careful, maybe reconsider this. You probably shouldn't do this, particularly because every time Biden has that kind of an arena, right? He exceeds expectations, right? I mean, the State of the Union, perfect example. So I want to see what was going on over the course of this past weekend. I think I'm going to start with Trump only because hopefully the later part of the reading with Biden will be a bit of a palate cleanser, shall we say. All right, here we go. So, Spirit, what is it that you can share with us with regards to Trump and this past weekend? And if there is any prep for the debate, and if what the concerns are, the worries, etc. Okay, so it is my understanding that actually over the weekend, Biden was at Camp David doing prep, debate prep, and Trump was on the campaign trail. So that's where his focus is, right? His focus is not on this debate. Now, if it seems to me that the last debate, there was this sort of, oh, just let Trump be Trump. He doesn't need to really prep for this. And a lot of the things, honestly, that I'm not going to say worked, but that last debate was he wouldn't shut up, right? He just kept like badgering Biden and he kept talking over him. And well, that's not going to happen this time if the debate goes ahead because they're going to turn off the mics at 2 minutes. And one can only hope that they're far enough away on the stage that they actually can't hear, Biden actually can't hear Trump, because I don't know that Trump's going to automatically shut up when that mic gets turned off. I think he's probably just going to raise his voice and keep on talking. So where are we at, Spirit? What's going on there? Okay. There is a book that has been really promoted on MSNBC. I don't know if this author is on other channels, called Apprentice in Wonderland. And it is a book basically about his time on The Apprentice. And the long and short of it, I mean, I haven't read it and I actually might. But this guy's basically saying, listen, everything Trump does is he thinks he's in a reality show, to the point of, he's not looking for a vice president. He's looking for a co-star, right? A second Biden term in the White House. Well, that's the second season. And because he was so hyper-focused on Nielsen ratings and that kind of thing, explains why he's so hyper-focused on poll numbers and the size of crowds and whatever. And one of the things that he said that I thought was really, I mean, aside from the fact that, you know what? He's always been misogynistic. He's always been racist. He's always been all of those. But one of the things he said that was really interesting was that Trump lived in this reality fantasy zone. All right. Because the last thing a reality show is reality. All right. It's just not. And we all know that. But so what he said was that if Trump, said something outrageous or just a bold-faced lie or whatever he said this during the show, what would happen is the producers, the editors would twist it around and make it so that it was true or it presented as true. And so that's the thing with, I mean, aside from the fact that he has been lying his entire life, this is really the mindset and the headset he's in. He's also said that of everything Trump has accomplished in his life, The Apprentice was his greatest moment. Not the presidency, The Apprentice, because he was the star of that show without basically any pushback or interference. So one of the things that's going on this weekend is that he is very upset about this book because, he feels that it is showing him in a bad light. One of the things that this gentleman that wrote the book is talking about is his short-term memory being, really, really questionable. And so the things that he is saying in these media interviews are really, really angering and frustrating Trump because it's calling attention, to the very things that he doesn't want people to call attention to. When your short-term memory, just starts to have some problems, you're aware of it, right? I mean, and I can tell you, right? I mean, you're aware of, I don't remember what I was just saying, or I don't remember, what the last commercial was, or I don't remember why the hell I walked into the kitchen. But for him, he just, it manipulates, and he manipulates it in his head. And so he's fine. And he doesn't like being called on behaviors that, don't make him look strong and powerful. So as far as the prep goes, I'm being told he's not doing anything. He he doesn't have any policy. So what he's going to be relying on is, twisting things, right? So instead of talking about what he would do, all he's going to be doing is attacking the Biden and probably the Obama administrations. In fact, it'll be interesting to see, frankly, if the debate goes on, if he actually remembers that he's debating Joe Biden and not Barack Obama, because he likes to get those two mixed up. So they're not prepping him in any way. They are just relying on his ability to aggressively attack. That's a strategy, folks. And nobody is really able to explain or suggest that he might want to just focus in a little bit because he doesn't want to. And you know what happens when you suggest to Trump that he do something that he just doesn't want to. You then become the target. He will, we know this about Trump after these 9 long years, is that he will say anything in the moment to get out of the moment. So you can anticipate him saying some really outrageous sorts of things that are not going to be well received by the public. There's also not going to be an audience at that debate. And one of the things that Trump really, really counts on is being able to play off the crowd. right, to respond to the way they're responding to him. And so he's not going to have that. He's not going to have any notes in front of him. The staff cannot interact even during commercial breaks. So these two guys are sort of on their own. And you're just going to be able to see I think that the cognitive decline is going to be really noticeable. I mean, look what happened when his teleprompter went off in Vegas, and the next thing you know, he was talking about boat batteries and sharks. And by the way, for the people who send me a message saying, okay, actually, boats have batteries because it's a spark like with the engine, like a car. Well, then it made perfect sense. But in any case, so thank you for that. But he goes off on these crazy tangents. I mean, God help you if he starts talking about Hannibal Lecter again, okay? Because, like, according to Trump, he was a great guy. Really got the short end of the stick. So the people around him, and this is the thing, they are aware of what he is lacking. They're aware of his behavior. They're aware of the fact that he's not keeping it together. But they foolishly think that it's okay because when he gets into office, they will be able to control and manipulate him. How well did that work in the last presidency? What we found out was that nobody can control him. And the only way to manipulate him is to flatter him and tell him he's brilliant. So he can't be maneuvered into, he's not as malleable as the people around him seem to think he's going to be. So they are really mindful of the fact that this could really, really not be good. And they are mounting a very subtle pressure campaign to get him to pull out. So, one of the things was they were talking about, well, if Joe does good, it's because he's going to be hyper caffeinated and that's why he's going to be alert and perky and whatever. And so apparently Trump wanted Biden to do a drug test prior to the debate to prove that, Biden didn't have any drugs in his system to help him along. And all the Biden campaign said to him back was, I will if you will. That was the end of the discussion about any blood work about, drugs in his system. So that's what's going on, or what went on I'm recording this on sort of Saturday afternoon. And so I'm tapping right into the current energy of what's going on. So they are, the campaign is slowly increasing. The suggestions that he might want to pull away. In Trump's head, he's going to win this. It's going to be brilliant. And he's going to use it as another platform to continue hauling in money. And so it's going to be hard actually to dissuade him because, first of all, he truly believes he's the smartest guy in the room. And so then you couple that with the fact that he sees it as a money maker, and you can see the potential of where they may have actually trouble pulling him. So that's what's went on in the Trump camp over the weekend. There was concern. He is stumbling and bumbling. He views, campaigning is more important than anything. He really believes that he's going to come out of this debate, should it happen, like with the shining star and the ability to pull in more money. And I think he's going to ultimately be very disappointed about that. Now, let's hop over to the Biden campaign. So it's interesting because oh my God, the energy could not be more different. So the energy around what's going on at Camp David is sort of laid back, it's relaxed, they're mindful of um, the fact that this is important, but you know how they have people that come in and sort of play the role of Trump, right? Um, because you want to test how Biden's going to respond to some of the crazy stuff that's likely to come out of Trump's mouth. Um, but they're working on just sort of the responses and the flow of the responses and the major points that he wants to get out. And so part of what they're looking at is calling attention to the fact that, yep, Biden's old, but you really are too. I think it's only like 33 months separating them or something. This isn't like, a massive amount of time. So there's that. And it's about reverting to policy. It's about talking about not only what has been accomplished, but what he has yet to complete, the things he wants to do in the next term. They are, on some level, mindful that this could all be for naught at this point in time because Trump may very well pull back. But they don't consider it in any way, shape, or form a waste of time because, Biden's out there giving speeches, he's doing his thing. And so that's going to, it'll prove to be helpful and effective as he goes forward one way or the other. It's just sort of that refresher course. The energy is just so different. It is relaxed, it is laid back, there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of chit-chatting going on. When they get serious and they focus in, like they're actually doing, pretend debates, right? It's serious, it's focused, and by and large, he has sort of the answers down pat. They are very, very confident that should this debate go ahead, um, ultimately Biden is going to come out ahead. Expecting Biden to be flawless is ridiculous because I think Barack Obama might have been one of the few who could actually just be flawless. But Joe's going to be Joe, and in many ways that's going to become clear. And again, this debate is early. It's earlier, I think, than they typically have debates. And so, but people are going to start tuning in. And people who haven't been paying attention are going to go, holy crap, did you know that Biden did that and that got accomplished? And what the hell is wrong with this guy over here? He's not making any sense. And he's being ridiculously aggressive. And he's behaving like an infant. So there's going to be this like amazing contrast between the two. And so even if, Joe has a few slip-ups, it's not, Fox News is going to make a big deal out of it, but by and large, it's not going to have a really, really significant impact. There also seems to be, in the Biden camp, um, a push towards encouraging everything be laid back, it be very relaxed, and Biden get as much rest and downtime as he can because he has been crazy busy and under crazy stress for days and weeks and months now, but certainly the last, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks with the traveling, and all of that. And he was under a lot of pressure when he was out traveling and meeting with those other world leaders, because he was really, really on a reassurance tour, trying to, say, listen, we're confident we're going to get the election. He's not going to get back in. We know the thought of him being office is terrifying. Like, that was a big part of what he was doing out there. But, that depletes energy, right? And so there is sort of this intention of really just wanting Joe to kind of lay back, recharge, and move into that debate is as a really powerful energetic force, very, very much like the same energy of the State of the Union is going to be exactly what you see. And remember, in the State of the Union address, he did a lot of sort of kibitzing back and forth when Republicans were trying to call him out, and he ended up turning the plates on them and getting them to agree that, of course, they don't want to get rid of Social Security, which, of course, is exactly what they want to do. But he got them to admit it, like, publicly. And so he's good at that. He's not brilliant at it, but he's good at it. And the thing is that Trump isn't, right? Because Trump just gets aggressive and he starts mouthing off, but he's not like clever enough to be able to like score the kind of points that he thinks he's scoring in his head. And so that's what I'm getting there. The Biden campaign is far more laid back. It's very relaxed, and they feel that the prep is going really, really, really well. And like I say, if for whatever reason the debate ends up being canceled, they don't feel it was a waste of time or energy, right, at all. The the Trump camp. They're focused on the campaign because that's what Trump wants to be focused on. And they, in some ways, it's sort of like, listen, we got to talk him out of this debate. And so why bother wasting time prepping him for something that we're really going to try to get out of? That is sort of the energy there. And there's, again, a lot of that, just let Trump be Trump. But you know what? I personally have come to believe that this whole let Trump be Trump deal is not so much because they think when he's brilliant, but because he can't be anything else, and they can't convince him to be anything else. So what are you going to do? I mean, at that point, well, yeah, I guess the only option is to let Trump be Trump. So that's what I'm getting energy-wise. As I said, it's a very different energy. One feels that one way or another, it was a really useful period of time. It was a recharging time. It was, getting focused. And the other ones are like, oh God, I hope there's a way to get him out of this. And you also have to understand that there are people in that tight inner circle. And I'm thinking of Miller as an example, who also are somehow in the bubble where they actually believe that he's going to win. And they actually believe that he's a rock star. So go for it. All right. That's what I know. It's going to be really interesting as this week unfolds because, we're down to sort of crunch time. And is this thing going to get, go forward, or is it not? That's what I know. So I think that's what I know. All right. So please don't forget to put any questions you have in the comment section below for Pendulum Friday. Thank you for being here, for your support of the station, my channel. All of the thumbs up and the comments are brilliant, and I love them. And Until next time, take care and be well. Bye bye.